On board the USS Vanguard, something happened that they don't want you to know. A mission so secret, it's been buried in silence, swept under the rug by the military elite. What was the mission? What did they try to hide? Let's dive deep into a story few have heard, and even fewer will ever believe. The truth behind what happened on board that day is more mysterious and dangerous than you can imagine. Stay with us as we uncover the shocking details that the Navy wanted to keep from you. Don't forget to subscribe and comment CAT to join our journey. Welcome to Requiem of Fear. The USS Vanguard is no ordinary warship, a marvel of modern military engineering. It serves as a beacon of power on the seas. This massive vessel, part of the United States Navy's elite fleet, houses over 5,000 sailors and officers, all prepared for any mission at a moment's notice. The ship's advanced systems make it one of the most formidable in the world, designed for both defense and offense in the most hostile environments. Its operations are highly classified, and few civilians ever set foot aboard. But beneath its steel exterior lies a secret that even many of its crew members don't know. One that would change everything they thought they knew about their mission. This story is not just about a ship, but the hidden forces that shape its destiny. In the dead of night, the crew of the USS Vanguard was called to a briefing unlike any other. This was no ordinary operation. It was a mission so secret that even the highest officers aboard had only partial knowledge of its true purpose. The officers gathered in the ship's briefing room, a palpable sense of tension in the air as they awaited instructions. The mission's objective was classified. Even the code name was masked in secrecy. What they did know was that they were preparing for a test, an operation to deploy cutting-edge military technology that could shift the balance of power in the world. The crew was told to follow orders without question, to trust their training, and to ignore any doubts that may arise. But there was something different about this mission. The security protocols were stricter than usual, with constant checks and layers of surveillance monitoring every movement. As the mission unfolded, whispers began to circulate, but no one dared speak too openly. Officers were told that failure was not an option, and that the eyes of the highest ranks were watching their every move. What they didn't know was that this mission, more than any before, would test their loyalty to the Navy, and to something far more dangerous. As the mission unfolded, things quickly spiraled out of control. What was supposed to be a smooth operation turned into a nightmare. The first sign of trouble came when communication systems failed without warning. Officers scrambled to restore contact, but the systems refused to cooperate. It wasn't long before other critical equipment started malfunctioning, and alarms blared across the ship. Something was deeply wrong, but no one could pinpoint exactly what. Panic started to set in. Officers who had been calm under pressure before now looked around in confusion, unsure of how to proceed. The mission's carefully laid out plans were now falling apart in real time. It wasn't just the equipment that failed. It was the people too. Some officers began to question their orders, while others started whispering about sabotage. As tensions reached their peak, Admiral Hunter, the mission's leader, attempted to regain control. But even he could feel the ground shifting beneath him. The mission was no longer under anyone's command. The real question now was, who or what was behind this failure? As the situation worsened, an internal investigation was launched. But the more they dug, the more the truth seemed to slip through their fingers. Key evidence vanished, and crucial files went missing, fueling the suspicion that something much bigger was at play. Officers who had been present during the mission's planning were suddenly reassigned, and whispers of a cover-up spread like wildfire. Those who questioned the official narrative found themselves silenced, either reassigned or told to forget what they'd seen. Admiral Hunter worked tirelessly to contain the fallout, issuing orders to divert attention away from the escalating crisis. But as the investigation dragged on, it became clear that the mission's failure wasn't just an accident. It was being deliberately buried. Senior officials, some from the highest ranks, took charge of the inquiry, ensuring that the truth remained obscured. The ship's crew, now divided and suspicious, was left in the dark. Yet, deep inside the USS Vanguard, a select few knew what had really happened. But for now, their silence was their greatest weapon. Months later, the full truth about the mission aboard the USS Vanguard was slowly uncovered. What had initially appeared to be a failure of technology and personnel was far more complicated. The mission had involved testing a new, highly classified weapon, one so advanced that its existence had been hidden from even many within the military. But when the operation went awry, it triggered a series of catastrophic failures, not just on the ship, but within the global defense network. The weapon, designed to be a game-changer in warfare, was a failure in its most critical moment. What no one had known was that the test had attracted the attention of foreign powers, who attempted to breach the ship's defenses to steal the weapon's technology. The sabotage, however, had been internal, orchestrated by a small group of officers who feared the consequences of the weapon's power. As the layers of deception peeled away, it became clear that the mission had been a carefully orchestrated test, not just of technology, but of trust. And now, the real battle would begin. In the aftermath, the USS Vanguard was returned to its regular operations, but nothing was ever the same. The mission's true objective and its failure were buried in classified reports, never to be discussed again. The crew, though they never fully understood the events that unfolded, felt the ripple effects. Many were reassigned, while others disappeared from the radar entirely. The Navy, now wary of the technology it had developed, began to reevaluate its security measures, tightening protocols across all military branches. But for those who knew the truth, the mission's legacy lingered. It wasn't just a failure. It was a lesson in the cost of secrecy and the weight of unspoken power. The secret mission on board the USS Vanguard will never be fully understood. The full extent of the failure, the cover-up, and the hidden technologies may remain classified forever. But one thing is certain: the consequences of that day rippled through the military and the world beyond. Some stories are meant to remain buried, hidden under layers of secrecy. But as we've seen, the truth always finds its way to the surface. The USS Vanguard story is a chilling reminder of the dangerous price of power, secrecy, and the lengths people will go to keep the truth hidden.